there's such a thing as your map of the world, and basically what that is the way that you think based on the value systems that unconsciously control your life. Your map of the world is not on the same page as the map of the world of somebody else. So in your map of the world, you should pick me up at 3 o'clock, and 3 o'clock means no later than 3 o'clock. Well, the other person understands 3 o'clock too, but the meaning of that for somebody else in their map of the world is not before 3. It's not that strict of a deadline. And so yeah, you were supposed to pick me up at 3. Yeah, I was here at 3:05. Why are we having a conflict? It's because the emotional state that was attached to before 3 weighs a lot different for one person than the other. Here's a very, very simple formula. You should probably write this on your mind food notes. The formula is IS equal to EB equal to IS equal to EB equal to IS equal to EB equal to IS to infinity. And here's what they mean. IS stands for your internal state. EB is the external behavior. In other words, my internal state, if I'm in, I guess you could call it a funk, right? I mean, just that bad place, that's my internal state. My internal state will cause me to have an external behavior towards you. That external behavior towards you will cause you to have a certain type of internal state because of that behavior. That internal state that you have will cause you to have an external behavior towards me. And that, in essence, folks, is exactly how communication occurs. So when conflict is in place, it's because of that difference in our emotional states. And how do you resolve conflict? One of the ways to do that is to manage somebody else's emotional state. So if you just behaved in a certain way towards me through an external behavior, my job is to change your internal state by changing my expected external behavior back to you to change that loop. You walk across the room and you slap me. That's an external behavior towards me. It should make me feel upset. And what that should do is that it should make me respond back to you in an external behavior that relates to that. But if I decide to change that loop and do something completely out of context, then your internal state is affected, because unconsciously you will pick that up. So what I just did is I just started another loop. So now your internal state has changed, which will then affect the external behavior back to me. It's a great tool to both manage but ultimately resolve conflicts. Disappointment means that I put you on a pedestal as my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my husband, my wife, whatever. And you did something that was so opposite, that did not meet up to where I put you. Disappointment is sometimes so much stronger than anger. Because anger is, you have the outburst, you storm out, you're just upset, it's over, you're done for the day. Disappointment is like this cloud where you start to question whether or not, you start to question the validity of that relationship. If it's just a romantic relationship, you start to question if it's a family relationship where you just can't be like, well, you're not my dad anymore. Can't really do that. But it starts to really become this cloud over that relationship that really starts to get it tainted. So disappointment is very important to think about. How did my family do disappointment? When I came home with bad grades, that happened to me a couple of times. I know you guys are perfect students, never happened to you, right? But when I came home with bad grades, or when I did something, when the neighbors came and said, well, your kid is behaving badly, how did they handle that? Because that will affect how you handle disappointment in your relationship, your romantic relationships now. Also, the healthy fight, the healthy debate. This is crucial because people misunderstand having a healthy debate. They misconstrue that for we're actually having an argument. right? So in the process of making decisions together as a couple, there will be sometimes that your decisions are not, your decisions are not, you're not seeing eye to eye immediately. How did your family handle the healthy debate? Mom said we need a minivan. Dad said we need a BMW. And I mean, like, how did that occur at the dining table? Did you hear a lot of shouting? Did you hear, well, you just talk, did you hear, was it the silent treatment? How was the healthy debate? When they were really, we're not talking about conflict. We're just talking about two people trying to understand where each other's coming from. Did one person overpower the other person to try to put their point across? Or was it a healthy dialogue? That plays an important role in how you handle that.